Good morning, Life Vision. I said, good morning, Life Vision. Because you see, I create my own reality. You think shit is easy? Being me? Being Jay is even worse. But being me is like, it is all about deciding what you want in life and if you're willing to go the extra mile. If you're willing to go ahead and say, if it is to be, it's up to me. If to go ahead and to sit there during a state board meeting and sit there and say, I don't like what these clowns are doing. Instead of just sitting there whining about it, but to actually go ahead and get up and do something about it. To go ahead and to show up at a meeting, as Kathy says, and that your very presence will change the entire room and the dialogue in your room. That's what makes a difference. You want to know the secret to making a difference? Show up. Just show up at the meeting. You know, if you think that these people like you, they don't like you anyway. So you might as well just show up. You know, you want to piss people off? Show up. You know, you go to enough meetings and things, and then after a while, they actually start to talk to you. And then after a while, you realize, well, wait a minute, let's find the common ground. Because somewhere, deep down, there's common ground. Now, sometimes you got to go to the point and say, well, we breathe oxygen together. That's half the battle. Well, maybe some of us are chiropractors together, but we have a different philosophy on how to get there. But if you can find the common ground with people, then they start to all of a sudden let their guard down a little bit. To say, well, you know what? He's not too bad. Maybe we can listen to his ideas a little bit with an open mind. Perhaps I might even agree with him every once in a while. And then all of a sudden, when the critical vote comes on whether or not they want drugs in your state, they say, maybe Fogarty's right. Maybe we shouldn't have drugs in the state. Maybe that chiropractic is something really cool. Because, you know, for some reason, he loves what he does. He sees a lot of people. He sees itty-bitty babies. He sees little old people. He's here to tell those out there that, you know what? We can learn to adjust that person, because if we can make that adjustment, perhaps I don't need the science behind it all the time, but to realize that when I do make that adjustment to that individual, no matter how old or how young, that it's going to make a difference in their life. You see, I got a belief within me that this profession of ours works. When I make the adjustment, it works every time. I might not understand it. It might not work in the manner I want it to work, or as quickly as I want it to work. But I know when I make an adjustment to a subluxated body, that body is going to work better. That individual is going to be a better individual. That person is going to function better. Do I need the science all the time behind it? See, I got a simple mind. You know, it's got to be easy for me. I learned a long time ago, find a mentor and just do what the mentor said. So I wanted a busy practice. I hung around busy people. And then they went ahead and they said, well, watch this. If you go ahead and walk around the table counterclockwise 3 times and then go ahead and make the adjustment, that's what's going to make it better. So what did I do? I just went around the table counterclockwise 3 times, made the adjustment, and the person got better. I didn't question it because the mentor said walk around the table counterclockwise 3 times. So I says, okay, well, let's do it. You know, and you know what? It worked. So when I went ahead and I got another associate, and I told the associate, well, this is what I was told to do, you should do that. And they started to ask the why question all the time. Well, why? I says, I don't know, because it works. You know, you got a person with a stomach ulcer, and you adjust somewhere in here and up in here, and then all of a sudden it's going to work. And they sit there and they say, well, how does it work? I says, I have no friggin' idea. You know, I don't. You know, but I know it works. Because the bottom line is, the person doesn't take the Tagamin anymore. You know, I mean, headache people I love. Because I used to get headaches every single day of my life. Migraines once a week. It wasn't until I went to the chiropractor said to me, do you think I was born with less aspirin in my bloodstream than everybody else? And I said, no, that's stupid. And it says, well, it's also stupid to take so much Anacin that's eating a hole in your stomach. And at the age of 21, I had a bleeding ulcer. And I said, well, you're right. So what do I got to do? He says, shut up, lay down, and I'll adjust you. And I said, well, how did you do that? That was really cool. And when you woke up the first time, or I woke up the first time without a headache, I went like, oh my God, this chiropractic stuff is pretty cool. You know, we had D.D. Palmer that went ahead and gave the first adjustment to a deaf janitor. You know, he went ahead and he thought he found the cure for deafness. So he went around the land saying that he found the cure for deafness. But all these people started going to him, and it wasn't about deafness after all, because the second recorded case was about congestive heart failure. And then all of a sudden they found all these other abnormalities that were going on. It wasn't about the hearing, it's not about the headaches, it's not about the ulcer. This is about chiropractic and restoring the communication in the body, getting the brain cells talking to the tissue cells so the body can function better. That's what chiropractic's about. You want to get a patient excited, don't talk about all the science and stuff. You'd say, I can make you poop better. And they're in like, yeah, you know? You talk to a little girl, you know, a young woman about, you know, having all kinds of female issues. You want to go ahead and make a lifetime patient. It's not about the back pain she's experiencing. It's about the menstrual cramps. You want to talk to a 50-year-old guy, not about his back pain, but about his incontinence. It is those lifetime things that are going to make lifetime patients. Is getting patients excited about that their body is capable of healing, that it's self-replicating. It is supposed to repair and replace itself if you remove the cause. My stomach healed up. I never had another bleeding ulcer as long as I lived. And you should see how I drink. You know, thank God that it heals itself. But what's the thing I do? I get adjusted. Because I know when I get adjusted, my body's going to work better. With my kids, they get adjusted not because they hurt, but once a week we get them checked. A patient say, well, how often do I have to come? I says, for the rest of your life. And they say, are you kidding? He says, ask me how often I get adjusted. And I say, well, how often? I says, I get checked once a week. He says, oh, you're just doing that just because. He says, no, I get checked once a week. Because I know if I got checked early on, if I've got a subluxation, my body's going to work better. I don't always get adjusted, but I get checked. And then I say to him, well, ask me how often my kids get adjusted. Your kids get adjusted? I says, yeah, my kids get adjusted. He says, how often? He says, once a week. I says, really? I says, why? And I say the same, this is funny. When my kids were little, in school, they used to, all the time, teachers would come up to me and say, why don't you kids get sick? And I said, well, what do you mean? So I'm drawing them in, right? I said, what do you mean? He says, well, 1 week, half the class is sick. The next week, the other half is sick. And the only time your kids miss school is because they travel with you. I says, what's up? Then I say, well, that's because they get adjusted. And they say, oh, no, you're just saying that because you're a chiropractor. And I say, no, because what controls the immune system? And they think for a second. And they say, well, what is it? And I says, well, the brain sends signals down through the cord, out through the nerves. And you explain it to them, and then they get it, and they go like, they walk away with this bewildered look. But I get more teachers from my kids' schools and other schools because they tell other teachers, because they know that there's all kinds of snot and germs and everything else around, and then you're able to teach them it's not about the snot and the germs and everything else that you're teaching them. It's about the nervous system, because the nervous system is going to keep your immune system. And if your immune system's going, your body's going to function better. Cool stuff, right? It's not a hard concept. You know, it's just talk. Talk to people. The secret to having a big practice, talk to people. The more you give, the more you get. Is it that simple? Yeah, it's about the numbers. You shake hands, say hi, tell them what you do. You know, the greatest invention in the world is the bent pen. Because with that bent pen, I can start a conversation with anybody, everywhere, anywhere. And you give them the bent pen, they say, oh, what? I live in Florida. And they say, what happened? It got set in the sun or something like that? He says, no. It's about, oh, you're a chiropractor. He says, yeah. And then you tell them I got chiropractic and all that other cool stuff. And then they get all excited. You know, and some of them go ahead and, okay. And then you just move on to the next one. But if you tell enough people, then all of a sudden, people start coming in. Okay, here's the secret to a lot of money. Who wants a lot of money? Okay, ready? The more you give, the more you get. Because when you put the money out there, the law of tithing says it's going to come back to you tenfold. Now, do I need the science behind that to tell me that that's going to happen? No, because I found a financial advisor that said that's what you do. You tithe the 10%. So what do? I just go ahead and say, okay, you know, because I'm a simple guy. I just say, here it is. So I join the President's Circle of Life. So I go ahead and I give to the state associations. So I go ahead and I'm involved. You just do it. You don't think about it. I just told you the secret to having a lot of money. The more you give, the more you get. Just do it. Don't think about it. It's like when you adjust somebody, it's going to work. With the money thing, it's going to work too. You want more love in your life? Give. Give, not to expect that it's going to come back, but to know that when you do it, it's coming back, baby. There is no doubt that it's going to come back. We need people to serve the profession. We need people to go ahead and to be an army and to get mad as hell that things aren't working out there the way that it's supposed to. You have people in your profession that want to change the very essence of our profession. You see people in California wanting to give vaccinations to everybody. Federally, we're seeing stuff now on the federal government that they want to mandate that all the states have to follow the same thing. We have people out there that their thinking is a little boogered up, that we've got to straighten them out. They need a friggin' adjustment, folks, from the neck up. But some of you are so afraid to go out there and to say anything that it's okay to sit in my seat, to go ahead and to go to a meeting, get rah, 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 and then go home and then just go back to the same old thing. How many of you are willing to go ahead and change the stinking thinking? How many of you are out there ready to say, you know what? I'm not going to read the negative crap in the paper anymore. I'm not going to watch TV before I go to bed and watch the news and let that permeate into my body. How am I going to go ahead and perhaps start my day off with some exercise? Perhaps I'm going to start my day off with my affirmations. Because I'm planning my day. I expect my day, my life, my relationships, and what I got going out there to work for me. If I expect 110% and I wind up with 90, I can almost live with that. But you got to expect the 110%. You got to expect it within your practice, with your patients, with your staff, with your family, with yourself. What are you willing to do? Are you willing to go ahead and just sit there and take it? Or are you willing to change it? If it wasn't for Life University, there would be drugs right now in Arizona. If it wasn't for Life University, there'd be drugs in Florida and many of the other states. This university is where I put my money, my time, my talent, my treasure. Because I believe that chiropractic lives here. I believe that as a trustee, we've gone ahead and said, we're drawing the line. We're not taking it anymore. We are changing it, and we need more people out there like yourselves to be that army to get behind us, to be part of the life force, to be part of the life vision, to be the part of life. If you're part of life, it's more fun with a lot of people. I don't like being alone. Come by, hang out, solve our problems together. You know, I've been there, done that. It sucks to do it that way. It's more fun to do it this way. So, is it that easy? Everybody take your hand. And I want within that hand to put the innermost fear that you have. Everybody tuck it in there. Just tuck it in, really, tuck it in. Everybody's tucking it in? Okay, it's all in there. Now I want you to look at your fist and put your fist in front of your face. And I want you to squeeze as hard as you can. Hold on to the fears, squeeze, look at the fist. Don't look at me, look at the fist. Look at your fears. Look at the crap you're holding on to. Look at the things that's holding you back and squeeze. You're not squeezing hard enough. Squeeze. Now look at your fist and open it. Let it go. Let go of the fear. What's easier, to hold on to the crap or to let it go? To hold on to the things that's holding you back or allowing you to have some fun? To be the person that you are? To reach your innate potential? What do you want in life? I'm not going to do the state boards the rest of my life. I need somebody to take my place. I need somebody as a trustee to take my place. I need somebody to go ahead and be willing to run with me, not behind me, but next to me, and to make this world a better place for chiropractic and for Life University. I choose to be here today. I thank you all for being here today. And if you choose, be a participant in life. Thank you very much.